Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, Malden. How you doing out there? This is Josephine Royal of Let Me Tell You Something. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And I want to greet you with what comes from the heart touches the heart, and it does, it does, it does. And today I'd like to greet you with a joyous heart today. And I really do. And I want to just say hello to the young at heart, reaching the elderly. But at this point, I want to reach out to everyone out there. Like I said, what comes from the heart touches the heart. Maria Perez is my guest. Believe it or not, she's in Lynn, Massachusetts. And hello, Maria. How you doing, dear?
Great, great. So good to be on your show, Josephine.
Oh, I'm glad to hear your voice, my dear. We've known each other for a long time, haven't we?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So, how you going through this, Maria? How you doing?
Well, for me, my life has pretty much changed. For some people, they are still working. I have people in my family that, like, for example, my son-in-law is still going to work every day. Nothing has changed for him.
Mm-hmm.
But for my children, my daughters, their entire life has been turned upside down. For
Mm-hmm.
example, they're now home. One daughter is home with four boys.
4 boys, huh?
So, needless to say, her life has truly changed.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for some of us, there's some great adjustments that need to be taken.
Mm-hmm.
And for others, it's not really that much of a big adjustment. But for me, I'm home since Malden closed the public schools.
Oh, Maria,
And
I don't mean to intrude, but what do you do at the public schools, my dear?
so I work at the Linden STEAM Academy as the occupational therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my job. And it's so funny because a week ago, I was at my job and I said to myself, I just love what I do. I love working with the children. I love interacting with the teachers and occasionally with the
Mm-hmm.
parents.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am now. I'm home, like
Well,
many others.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. But, there are many things that you can do from your own home. You can still reach out and touch people right there.
Absolutely.
As long as you have smartphone and a computer, you
Mm-hmm,
still can
mm-hmm,
reach people out there.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes, you can.
So what are
You
you
absolutely
doing
can.
from your home?
So, what I've decided to do since I've been home, because my life truly has been turned upside down,
Mm-hmm.
I've decided there's some things that I need to maintain. And we all know from social science that habits are good for you. Habits and routines are very good for you, especially I talk about this numerous times with teachers, the importance of maintaining routines in classrooms. And so for me personally, I want to maintain a healthy routine.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to encourage people to do the things that you know are good for you.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if every morning you wake up and you make yourself coffee, maybe you might meditate or maybe you might take a walk, continue to do the things that will maintain your emotional and mental health.
Correct.
So I've tried to do that. I've tried to maintain my daily morning routine, and that's been very beneficial for me. And then I've done other things because we are living in uncertain times. And this truly, for me, I consider it a sacred pause.
Ah. Mm-hmm. And are you playing music during that time?
I definitely am trying to spend more time listening to music. Music is extremely important for us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just as an educator, music is powerful, and
Mm-hmm.
you can use music to uplift you,
Mm-hmm.
to direct your mood, your spirit,
Correct.
and it really can be a beneficial emotional booster during this time.
Correct. You're so correct about that, and I feel the same way. In my home, I always have music playing. all kinds of music. I like classical. I like contemporary music. I love opera, by the way, and I love. Matter of fact, I like praise and worship music, and I play a lot of music in my home, and all different types of language, and we listen to that, and my husband loves it, and it's very much a part of whom we are as human beings.
Oh, absolutely. So, Josephine, while I was working in my classroom, I typically would have on solo piano music as background music. And I would play that throughout the morning and throughout the day. And you would be so surprised as students come into my classroom. There's a sense of calm that comes over them, a sense of focus that comes over them, because there's this quiet piano solo music playing in the background.
Correct. Correct. And it gives a sense of peace on where you're sitting in that area.
Yes.
And I do the same at work. I play music, and it doesn't have to touch everybody, because after all, I have to respect my coworkers because they have their work to do. But I keep my area at a low key. And I do that for a specific reason, because I know that a lot of people coming in the office, they're going to pass by my desk.
Right.
And so I keep that music going, and sometimes I keep it very low, and if I realize the energy is rising at a high rate in my area, I'll put the music up a little bit to bring the energy at an even keel.
Yes.
And I do that on purpose. And I'm doing it for a reason.
Absolutely.
You have to know what you're doing with certain things in order to let it be effective.
Yes, I agree.
So what else are you doing in the way of...
So let me share with you. I have 15 actions or attitudes that really have come to me in terms of how can we best utilize this time.
Okay.
This is, like I say, this is a sacred pause. And we as a nation, we as a people, we as families, myself as an individual. So, Josephine, I live alone.
Correct.
And so I really have the freedom to really, really take this time and make the best of it. And I like the term turning lemons, making lemonade out of lemons. So right now we're being squeezed by lemons. And how can we best utilize this time? So 15 ways, actions, or attitudes we can undertake. And the first one, I like we already discussed, is maintaining a healthy routine. And maintaining a healthy routine is so important for all of us, especially for children, but especially even for the elderly.
Correct.
Even for the elderly, because a healthy routine gives you purpose and a sense of meaning. And we know that the research shows that without purpose, people lack the desire to live. You have to have purpose. And for some elderly people, making their cup of coffee in the morning is purposeful. That's purposeful. And they can do that independently. So I think it's very important to maintain your healthy habits. So that's number one. Number two, during this time, because this is truly a sacred pause, let me go back to that, is to add something new into your daily routine. Add something new. And so, for example, for myself, I've decided to learn a new software program. And I said, and obviously it's going to help me in terms of my vocation. So that's what I decided to do.
What are you learning?
Well, I'm learning a new software program because I also teach as an adjunct, and so I'm learning how to use Zoom more proficiently to use it as a platform for my teaching.
Correct.
So that's my goal in this week or two is going to be to really use and learn Zoom besides other platforms.
Correct.
And then the other thing, for example, I've been thinking about maybe learning piano. I have a piano. Maybe this is time for me to learn piano.
Nice.
For other people, it might be taking up knitting. Maybe you want to learn how to knit, or maybe you want to learn how to grow an indoor garden. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
this is the time for you to do that. So try to think about something new that you can learn. This is your time to do it. There's no excuses. You have the time.
Yep.
So that's another thing that I've decided to adopt. Um, I know everyone here has seen this probably on social media, but reach out to people. Reach out to at
Correct.
least 5 people a day. I
Mm-hmm.
want people, make 5 phone calls and reach out to people, especially people that you know are alone and may not have family
Mm-hmm.
and may not have community. So reach out to 5 people, give them a call, see how they're doing, keep tabs on them. They will cherish that phone call and that quality time that you spend with them. They will cherish it. It will be a life giving uh, uh, breath of fresh air to them.
I don't mean to
Uh,
interrupt you at this time, but it's most important, I have to say, that the young at heart, and when I say young at heart, I mean the elderly, that we
mhm.
reach it out to them because some of them don't have family.
Right, right.
They don't have the family. And if you can't go to them or call them, if you're
Hmm.
in a elderly housing, just slip a card underneath their door.
Yes,
Put a
yes,
little
yes.
bag of some water,
Hmm.
something on their
Hmm.
doorknob.
Hmm.
They'll appreciate it
Hmm.
because some of these people don't have anybody or have
Absolutely.
anything
Hmm.
that a little something just to say you care. You don't have to put your name on it. Just do it.
Hmm. Amen.
And,
So yeah, absolutely. And then the other thing that really has come to me is to help others less fortunate than yourself, because
correct.
there are people like who are losing jobs.
All
There are
right.
people that are just becoming unemployed.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that may have less than you.
Yep.
Look around and
Mm-hmm.
see who has less than you and help those individuals. Help. We
Correct.
all have something we can give, even if it's very little. But
Correct.
look around and help others that are less fortunate than yourself.
Sometimes a $10 gift card means a lot.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. And then the other thing that came to me, I have 10 grandchildren, as you know, Josephine, um, is to take advantage of this special moment in
Yep.
time. And I'm thinking about a lot of families that now are housebound, and
Yep.
husbands and wives, or, just individuals, partners together living in their homes with their
Mm-hmm.
children. Let's take this time, hypothetically, to become better people,
Yep.
better parents,
Mm-hmm.
better children, better spouses, better friends,
Mm-hmm.
better sister or brother, better aunts and uncle, better
Correct.
grandparents. Let's take this time, because we're going to look back on this time and we're
Mm-hmm.
going to be wondering, what did I
I
do
do.
differently?
Yep.
What did I do differently? How did I come out of this time a better person?
You got that
Remember,
right.
this is a sacred pause. How did I come out of this time a
Mm-hmm.
better person? So,
But never pass the up the opportunity, be it before the situation and after, to
hmm,
say
hmm,
I love you.
absolutely, yes,
Never pass up
yes,
that time and really
yes,
mean it,
yes.
not because of the situation at hand, but never pass up the opportunity and really mean it from your heart. I love
Hmm.
you. And don't be ashamed of it either.
Oh no, absolutely, and absolutely during this time
Yep.
to really express your
Mm-hmm.
true feelings and emotions.
Yep.
Another thing that I would highly recommend, I've been journaling for almost 25 years.
Me too.
And I would, maybe you've never journaled, I would encourage people to start journaling,
Yep.
especially in this moment in history. You have so much you could be writing about.
Yep.
So I would encourage people to do that. The other thing that I've really tried for myself, I've tried to be very cognizant of, is don't spend your entire time, this is a sacred time, just watching TV.
No.
Do something else with your time.
Correct.
Do something else with your time. It may be reading that book that's been sitting on the shelf and you're like, oh, I need to get that book read, and now is the time to read it. I myself took 2 books off my bookcase and I said, I'm going to read these 2 books
Mm-hmm.
during this downtime. And obviously, these books pertain to what I do and they're valuable to me. The other thing that I think would be really encouraging for people to do is to write letters. To write letters. It's a lost art. We've gotten away from writing letters.
I
Write
think we have.
letters.
I think we have gotten away from that. I don't
Right.
mean to cut you off, but I want to bring up some things. It's very important to let people know, and I know they've heard it 1,000 times, is to continue to wash your hands every chance you get.
Yes, yes.
To if you have the things at home, to wipe down your cabinets, wipe down your surfaces, your doorknobs, any chance you get to do that as often as you can. And to be very thorough in doing that, even in your own home. I mean, I know I myself, as soon as I get up in the morning, I start wiping down things. Yes. I wipe every area that I can, and I go through my home and I clean it. I don't think my home was clean to begin with, but I just clean and clean, especially if you have elderly in the home. My husband's 83 years old, and I make sure it's wiped down and it's clean. No matter where I go, I'm wiping down something. And continue to wash your hands, and about 20 seconds at a time, clean those hands, and continue to do so, and be thorough about it. And just follow the guidelines. And if you got a cough into your sleeve. And if you blow your nose, throw your tissue away and immediately wash your hands.
Yes.
Be very respectable of social distancing, and it's protecting you and the other person. And
Absolutely.
that's a good thing to do at this time. And until further notice, and just follow the guidelines that's being put out there by the ones that know what's going on. And if you don't understand, find somebody and they'll explain it to you.
Yes.
They're trying to protect us. They're not trying to tell us what to do. They're trying to protect us, and I suggest that everybody follow the guidelines and just stay calm. Stay calm. Again, like Maria, there's the sacred moments. That she calls it sacred moments, and I call it calming moments. And I follow those moments. Those are moments to be cherished at this time. And like Maria, I have grandchildren. I'm going to FaceTime with my grandchildren. And I said to my son, I love you dearly, but I'm not coming there. And there's things that you can do, FaceTime.
Right.
There can be laughter. There can be joy. And not to panic. Stay very calm.
Absolutely.
Go on, Maria.
Just to kind of just speak to what you're talking about right now, one of the other things that I've tried to employ in my own life, and I think I would encourage this for others, is to keep it in the day. Keep it in the day, because, like, for example, my daughter, who has 4 boys at home, ranging from 3 to 15, has said to me, I don't know how much longer I can do this. I said to her, just keep it in the day. Don't worry about 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. Keep it in the day. And I think that's one thing that we all can employ and undertake, is try to keep our fear, our anxiety, keep it in the day. That will help us greatly if we just keep it in the day. The other thing that I've decided to do in terms of how can I best use this time, once again, this sacred pause, is to learn something new. Maybe learning how to exercise, or maybe you're going to learn how to cook, or maybe you're going to learn how to sew. And so for me, reading books can be extremely helpful. So I've been reading about the Civil War, but whatever, something that's of interest to you, you may have there's so many resources online now where people can take advantage of, you can even take a class from home. There's free online classes. Many universities are giving online classes, and you can take them for free. Just think about it. You, from your living room, dining room, kitchen, wherever you are, can take a class online and get all of that valuable knowledge for free. So that I would highly recommend that as well.
Well, for me, I love to do tedious things. And one of them is needlepoint.
Yes.
And years ago, I used to do a lot of needlework. I used to do pillows. I used to do not hair pieces. When bride and groom would get married, I used to do a lot of needlework. And I did that. And I haven't done that for a long time.
Right.
And so
right.
I'm going back to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going back to that. And I love doing stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna go back to that. And there's a lot of things. I think social media is a great thing. I think having a smartphone is a great thing, and a computer is a great thing. But what I think happened is that we got away from a lot of things that were wonderful doing with your hands. And I like going back to that. And I'm going to do that for myself. And I like quilting.
Oh, yes.
I think that quilting is a beautiful thing. And I'm going to go do that too. It doesn't take no time, and so I'm going to have some fun with that. My husband doesn't know it, but he's going to get involved with it.
It's good for him, Josephine.
Oh, yeah.
Because we know that anytime you're using your hands, anytime you're moving, especially when you're using your hands, you're using neurological capacity. And we want to keep our brains healthy and strong and vibrant. So you definitely want to use your hands in terms of knitting, sewing, piano lessons, whatever it is.
No kidding.
The other thing that we've been trying to do, I've been trying to do is, and there's huge recommendations to do that, is to order out at least once or twice a week to help the businesses in our local communities to maintain their and their entities, so we can help others by ordering out once a week. The other thing that many people have talked about also is, getting to those projects that you haven't gotten to. Clean that closet.
Oh, yeah.
I was with some friends, and they were talking about cleaning closets. So maybe that's the other thing that we can do during this time, is to do those unpleasant tasks that we've been putting off, that we can now undertake them.
Yep, set a time and get it done.
Yes.
Set a time and get it done, because this is important to keep your home clean. It's not, it's just that we need to do those things. I have to be honest, where I live, there's some people that cannot do that.
Right.
I don't know if they'll allow you to help them out. They have to be willing. And if you feel up to it and you can go in and do that, fine. If you don't, that's up to you, but that's between you, them, and your maker. And I'd be willing, as I look around and I see a lot of things, I think to myself, gee, Joe, there's a lot of people here that need a lot of help.
Yes.
And I see, you're put in a certain area for a particular reason. And if you open your eyes and ears, and you'll see where you're needed at that particular time.
Absolutely.
So I feel at this time I'm in a situation that, I'll talk to people nonchalant as I'm passing by, and I ask them, how you doing today? And then you get the scoop. You get the scoop right there and then, from, so to speak, from the horse's mouth. And you know who's who and what they need. And you act accordingly. It doesn't have to be a lot, just a little.
Right.
Just a little. And you act accordingly at that particular time, whether it's at this time at work or where you live. I was in dollar store. I saw something. And I saw something, and it really tugged at my strings of my heart.
Yes.
And I had to do something. And the woman cried because what I did, and I said, just pass it on. Just pass it on.
Right.
And you got to do something with a little bit of love in these times that we live in.
Oh yes, and many people are doing that. And small acts of kindness can go such a long way. Such a long way. So help. We all of us need to be, like you said, Josephine, very observant of our surroundings, very observant of what's happening, very observant of what is the need. I like to use this term. What is the need that I can meet? What is the need? And if we're not observant, if we're not looking, if we're not cognizant, we'll miss it. We'll miss the need. So and I think you're right. We have to be observant of what's the need and how can we help? How can we help
Yep.
During this time? So that's definitely something
Correct.
important.
I know for me, my place of worship, they've gone to Zoom. And the way they used it, I was like amazed. The service was going on,
Right.
and in the meantime, you could respond to that service.
Right.
There was worship going. A matter of fact, I was on the choir, but that's not happening now. Later day,
Right.
it wasn't supposed to take place. That's okay. But to make a long story short, you could respond to whatever the need was at that particular time, and everybody was involved.
Right.
Not just the service going on, but people were intertwining with one another, but they were not at the church.
Right. Right.
And there was so many responding at that one particular time. And one pastor, it was her birthday, and people were wishing her a happy birthday through Zoom. So I thought, for me, I thought that was amazing.
Yes.
And everybody was virtually speaking and still being in contact, and nobody was left out.
That's right.
So I thought to myself, hey, awesome.
Yeah, we're living in a time where we do have access to one another through social media, through the internet. So we're very fortunate that we're not isolated. We do have that. I just have two more things I wanted to add,
Go ahead.
Josephine.
Go ahead.
The other thing I think that's so important, and the research really demonstrates how important it is for families to eat dinner together. So maybe this is the time where you learn how to cook, or you teach your child how to cook, because children, especially young people, lack life skills. They lack the ability to budget. They lack the ability to clean their homes and have chores, and they lack the ability to even know how to cook a healthy meal, to go grocery shopping. I know that my daughter, who has the 4 boys, that's what she's undertaken. She said, during this time, I'm going to have them cook a meal once a week, have them create the menu, have them do the shopping.
Nice.
So there's so many things that now parents and caregivers could take advantage of this time to teach their young people, their children, who are our future, how to perform these life skills that are so critical to their health and well-being, to their success as adults. So definitely take this time, whether it's teaching, home-cooked meals, teach yourself, teach your family. And I think, and I'm sure there's other recommendations or other attitudes or actions people can take. But I think overall, Josephine, in my mind, we need to see this time as sacred, different, unique, and how will each one of us come out better because of it? Better. How are we going to come out after these however many days a better person? Whether that's mentally, emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, in every way, shape, and form. How are we going to be better because of this ravenous virus that has attached and touched our lives? How are we going to be better?
Well, I think I have to say that's a choice each and every person has to make. It's a choice whether they choose to be positive or not.
Right.
That's a choice each and every person has to make, and I feel that for me, I make a choice not to look left, not to look right or back, but I have to focus. So I choose not to be negative. That's a choice.
Absolutely.
I make to be joyous and to focus. And so I urge everyone out there, I'm speaking from my heart to yours, lovingly, and I mean this from my heart, to make that choice and, reach out to somebody else. And if you are concerned and you just don't know which way to turn, make that phone call to somebody. Talk to somebody. Don't be alone, because there are people out there that truly, truly care, like Maria. There are people out there in your city that care about you. Don't be alone today. Don't be alone today. If you need something, call somebody. Call somebody, because I'm sure in Lynn, in Malden, Massachusetts, and all over the United States, people do care.
Yes.
You know, I was passing through, going somewhere, and I saw people on the front lines passing meals to the children.
Yes.
And I thought, how great is that? How great is that? And I know they're doing it because they care.
Yes.
Because they care. And I know this. I know without a shadow of doubt that the caretaker that comes to my husband while I'm away, he does it because he cares. Yes. Because he cares. And I can see by the way he treats my husband, he does it because he really, truly cares about my husband. And it's not because he has to, because it's just the way that he treats him and the respect, the way he talks to me. Yes. It's done with respect and dignity. And that's the way we should be treating each other. Absolutely. Well, how about the last one you want to give me?
Well, that was really the gist of all of it, is that we need to take advantage of this difficult, challenging time. And I think as individuals, we've all been through difficult, challenging times. And there is a saying that those times can make you bitter or better. And I think we have to make the choice. We have to make the choice and say, how am I going to be better because of this difficult, challenging time? And what am I going to gain from this? And what good thing is going to come into my life, from this time, that where I can say, I am a better person because of X, Y, and Z. This is what happened. This is how I handled it. This is my takeaway. And how can I help others? Ultimately, Josephine, it's about our usefulness to other people. Correct. How can we be useful to other people? How can we contribute? And Tom Rath just wrote a book, and he asked us, and this is what he said. He said, there's only one question you need to ask, and the question is, what can I contribute? Correct. Think about that, Josephine. What can I contribute? What is my contribution to my fellow human beings that I can make their lives better and the lives of everyone around me better? If we all have that perspective, yes, we'd see a lot of good coming from this difficult, challenging time.
Well, like for me, like I said, there's a choice that I have made, is to look around and see where the need needs to be met. Right. And that's my perspective for me. I know that there's a lot of people out there all around the world, not just in the United States of America, suffering. Right. I understand that. Don't get me wrong. Right. But for me, somehow, if somebody out there doesn't choose to walk in peace and that love that surpasses all understanding, that unconditional love, no matter where you're from, it doesn't matter. Well, what is it all for? Right. It's all for naught. And that's a choice that I have made, and my husband has made, and obviously you have made. And there's many others out there I know that have made. And there's so many that are walking right now in the front lines here. Yes. The workers. The police, the governors, the mayors, so many that are making so many important decisions at this time. Let's all come together as one, oneness and unity, and let's keep them in our thoughts and in our prayers at this time. Because I wouldn't want to be them. Right. I would not want to be them. So I choose at this time every day to keep him in my thoughts and my prayers. And let's do what they're suggesting at this time, because I'm sure the decisions that they're making are not easy. Right. They're not easy. So at this time, I want to say like this. Thank you, Maria, for letting me come into your home. Yes. Via phone. Isn't this amazing? And a little bit of laughter, humor goes a long way. you know.
Absolutely.
So, I've known you a long time, Maria, a long, long time. And we've walked down some roads together.
Yes.
I remember
we
when I
have.
first came to your home a long time ago. And it's been amazing how we come in and out of each other's lives.
I know.
And we keep
Yes.
drifting in and out. The doors open and the doors close. And I'm sure we'll meet again. And
I love that.
yeah, and it's been quite a journey, and I don't think it's ended yet. And
Good.
I see. I think we'll be talking again like this.
My pleasure.
No, it's been a pleasure, my sister. It's been a pleasure, and I know that you are my sister. So you take care, my dear. But I want to say this to the community of Malden, Massachusetts, and beyond. Again, what comes from the heart does touch the heart. And if anybody out there has heard this, please digest this. And please, again, you are not alone. You are definitely not alone, my dears.
That's right.
And you take care. And I'm going to play some soft music. And please listen carefully. And please, please take care until next time. Bye-bye for now.
Bye, Josephine.
Bye-bye, dear.